يا صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم.
الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله وعلى نور الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another episode of Iftar with Usman Attari. Alhamdulillah, we are on episode 12 today. Alhamdulillah. And I had to get a very special guest in today. For not one guest, we've got a few guests, inshallah. We'll keep that a surprise for the time being, but I'll call my main guest in a few minutes. Just before I call him up, if everybody can share this link on your social media, WhatsApp, everywhere, inshallah, with good intentions. Now, my guest tonight is he's a Nathan, but he's not mainly known for his Nathwani. He's known for being, mashallah, a mentor of Nathwans. He's known for being um, the chairman and founder of YQNC as well. We'll talk a bit more about that later on as well. It's none other than Mohammad Umar Bhai, also known as Umar Bhai on YouTube as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Umar Bhai.
Wa alaikum salam, Usman. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. At home.
Yeah. Looks like you're enjoying the weather. Sat in the garden, getting a bit of sunbathing.
Yeah, bit of vitamin D.
Yeah, maybe that's the one. Achha, mashallah. How's Ramadan gone for you so far?
Ramadan's flown by. I've not even been able to think and not being able to kind of really feel it, to be honest. It's just come and gone.
It's come and gone. Yeah. I totally agree. I think it's been a different Ramadan. We've never had a Ramadan like this. Obviously, nobody has this much free time. You know, normally everybody's got their work and they've got their all-cup cards.
Yeah, there's no Taraweeh. There's no, usually in Ramadan, I would go to read Fajr at mosque, with a friend or someone, but there's none of that. So it's more or less just being at home. There's no iftaris outside, outdoors, in restaurants.
That's another thing.
So we would, me and yourself, and along with quite a lot of other lads, we would do a few iftaris together at different places, but none of that's happened this year.
Actually, I had quite a few last year as well. I remember last year we had a few iftaris. Yeah, that's true. Obviously, there's good and there's bad to everything, like they say in the world. There's good to this lockdown as well, and as well as there's bad to it as well. The good is obviously we're getting more and more time to spend with our loved ones, our family. The bad side is obviously, like you mentioned, the no Taraweeh, there's no iftaris, just getting together with our friends and catching up and everything. That vibe, there's none of that. But so obviously we normally start our show. I like to introduce my guest on first, and then we get Tilawat. Mashallah, we've got a special guest for Tilawat today. We've got one of YQNC's up and coming Naat Quran. He's a young lad, mashallah, who's also doing hifz as well. May Allah give him the tawfiq become a hafiz one day, inshallah. And he's a young lad. He's from Bradford. He's Anis Rahman Khan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Anis.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing?
Anis, how are you?
I'm okay, alhamdulillah. How about yourself?
Alhamdulillah. How is Ramadan going? How is the hifz going as well?
Hifz is going well. I need to read my sabak for tomorrow, and then inshallah I've got 6 paras left, so I'm getting on with that. Ramadan is going well, but it don't feel like usual, like a normal Ramadan will feel, because there's no Taraweeh, there's no going to the mosque, reading namaz in the mosque. Obviously, we look forward to reading Jummah in the mosque as well, the final Jummah, especially stuff like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's exactly that's what I'll be talking about every day. And Brother Umar mentioned that as well. That's the downside to it. But the plus side is you've got enough time to study your hifz and even whatever else you do.
Yeah.
So mashallah, you got six para left as well. Inshallah, very soon to become a hafiz. I'll say by the end of this year, probably before that, inshallah.
Yeah, that's my aim.
For Milad Sharif.
At the latest.
Hopefully for Milad Sharif, inshallah. Whenever we have a mehfil, we'll be calling us Hafiz Anis Rahman, mashallah.
We need to have a mehfil on his Distar Bandi.
Inshallah.
That's a brilliant idea as well. Inshallah, I think we should do that as well. Anis, I know you're during hifz, you're even reading the sabak right now as well. So I don't want to keep you on for too long. Yeah. So inshallah, if you could do tilawat for us, please, inshallah, and get this show started.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فتور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير صدق الله العظيم.
سبحان الله.
جزاك الله.
MashaAllah. Sorry, I had a slight delay on my side. The internet was a bit weak. Anis, could you hear me?
Yeah.
Anis, mashallah, that was beautiful. That was beautifully recited. I like the style of your tilawat as well. And the pronunciation, mashallah. It goes to show that obviously some people look at Naat Khan and say, Naat Wari tak jane. But no, there are Naat Khans out there that, mashallah, be trying to become Hafiz and Qaris of the Quran as well. People need to see that as well, mashallah. That was beautiful. If you could give us a teaser of your voice as well with the Naat Sharif as well, and inshallah, show the people the talent that you got as well.
All right. Sallallahu alayka ya Rasulullah wa sallam alayka ya Habiballah.
Subhanallah.
Phir ke gali tabaa ٹھوکریں سب کی کھائیں کیوں دل کو جو عقل دے خدا تیری گلی سے جائے کیوں تیری گلی سے جائے کیوں رخصت قافلہ کا شور غش سے ہمیں اٹھائے کیوں رخصت قافلہ کا شور غش سے ہمیں اٹھائے کیوں سوتے ہیں ان کے سائے میں کوئی ہمیں جگائے کیوں سوتے ہیں ان کے سائے میں कोई हमें जगाए क्यों, दिल को जो अकल दे खुदा, तेरी गली से जाए क्यों। यादे हुजूर की कसम, गफलत ऐश है सितम। यादे हुजूर की कसम, गफलत ऐश है सितम। खूब है कैद गम में हम, कोई हमें चुराए क्यों, दिल को जो अकल दे खुदा, तेरी गली से जाए क्यों। वो जो न थे तो कुछ न था, वो जो न हो तो कुछ न हो। वो जो न थे तो कुछ न था, वो जो न हो तो कुछ न हो। जाने है वो जहान की, जाने है तो जहान है, जाने है वो जहान की, जाने है तो जहान है। दिल को जो अक्ल दे खुदा, तेरी गली से जाए क्यों।
Wow, mashallah, mashallah. That was really, really beautifully recited, Anis Rahman. May Allah bless you, bless your voice as well, inshallah. And Anis, just going to ask you 1-2 questions before I let you go, yeah? How old are you?
I'm 17.
Mashallah, mashallah. How old were you when you started reciting? No.
About 10, but like when I first got into YQNC, it was recently when, do you know when Tokir passed away? It was
so around 3 years ago. So it's about
15
about 14.
or 14. Yeah.
I remember that. I think around that time I seen you as well, mashallah. No, that's really good. Today, obviously, today's show is about YQNC and the talent, mashallah. As you can see, Anis Rahman is one of the many talents that YQNC has, mashallah. Jazakallah, Anis. I don't want to keep you on for too long. You carry on with your sabak, inshallah, and hope to see you very soon. Jazakallah for coming on. Yeah.
Take care. Hafiz.
Hafiz. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, ala kulli hal.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, mashallah, Umar is a very good friend of mine as well. Before the Naat Khwani, all this YQNC, I've known Umar for a very long time, mashallah. I've been going to his house, Mehfil, every single year, been reciting as well. And when we used to go to school, we used to go on the same bus. I remember them days, mashallah. And he's a mentor of mine as well, and he's doing that to mashallah, whose advice I take very seriously as well, and like many others as well. Umar Bhai, I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your journey of Naat Khwani so far. Okay, what got you into Naat Khwani? With these Naat Khwans, before YQNC, you was, everybody knows that you close to quite a lot of Naat Khwans. Where did the show come from with spending time with Naat Khwan?
Well, we come from a family background which is quite religious, and I spent about 3 to 4 years in Pakistan from 96 to 99. I stayed nearly 4 years in Pakistan studying. And my granddad was alive in Pakistan. He was he built a mosque in the village, and he would hold regular programs, and he was like the key holder of the mosque, and he would hold programs. And then it just, my the foundation comes from there really. And me being exposed to a culture in Pakistan, where Mehfil Naat and learning Urdu, adab, shairi, and having the Ahl Sunnat Aqidah within us, it all just played a part. And then when I came back to England in 2000, Pakistani Naat Khans were already coming. And I was at Hanfiya Mosque, and it was about 7 o'clock in the morning, when Shabazz Qamar Faridi was reading. And I was really enjoying his naats, really, really getting into his naats. And this guy sat next to me and he said to me, "Oh well, if you want to ever call him to your house, you can let us know. He comes to our house and we can sort him out. We can make him come to yours as well if you want." And this guy that introduced me to Shabazz was got nothing to do with the Naat Association or anyone. It was just someone that attended his house. And then I said, "Okay, no problem." So he arranged the first program at my house in 2004, I think it was. And it went really well, and that's it. After that, it was just me hanging around with Shabazz Qamar Faridi all the way, and then it built from one person to another. It was Shabazz Faridi, Yusuf Bhai, and then Taslim Sabri, and these guys got really close to me. And then Qari Sadakat, I spent some time with Qari Sahab as well. And then as and when every new Naat Khan came to England every year, because I was already in the circle and I was already traveling, going up and down the country with Naat Khans. And throughout this whole process, I was learning as well, because, sorry about that, hanging around with Pakistani Naat Khans, you need a bit of a patience and you need a bit of an understanding, of, what their mentality is and how they like to do things and what they like and dislike. So over the years, I've built all that, a lot of experience about Naat Khani in itself, like, what, I've noticed that, when prior to 2004, when I was sitting right at the back of the program, you would just listen to an app and you would go home. But when the more closer you get to the stage, the more other things that surrounding a Mehfil Naat and a Naat Khani is you start learning. So Alhamdulillah, over the years I picked that up, and then by 2016, when YQNC come into shape, I had already had 12 years worth of experience of hanging around with Naat Khans, and and then my Pakistan, being exposed to Pakistani culture and learning and studying in Pakistan, I knew all that. I knew how to speak to an alim, a scholar, a Naat Khan, pretty well versed with all this. So all
Omer,
this experience.
I just get one thing out. I think the other day as well, and today, you mentioned 2016. It was actually 2015.
Was it 2015? Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. October 2015. Yeah. So we'll talk a bit more about YQNC a bit later on. We just get to know, Mohammad Umar before. So obviously, you said you spent a lot of time with the Naat Khwans and everything. What have you learned? What do you think you've learned from the Naat Khwans that you can say you've learned, and you can pass it on to people like whoever's watching as well. Somebody that wants to learn anything from them.
So Usman, as you know, that not only have I been hanging around with Naat Khans, but I have also been hanging around with Qawwals. So that has played a massive role in my experience and knowledge. Reason being is because when you sit with Qawwals, you learn how to compose, you learn the musical and the theoretical knowledge behind how a Naat, because Qawwali is Naat as well, right? It's tune, it's in beat, it's a composition. When you hang around with Qawwals, you learn a lot of things, a lot of the theory behind how a Naat is delivered. And when you hang around with Naat Khans, you know how it's practically delivered in mosques, in mehfils. So you get to learn about, the presentation of a Naat Khan, how he is off stage, how he is on stage, why he recited a particular verse in a particular way. Like for example, you read an antara, and you read Khush charon taraf noor chaya aaka ka milad aaya, and then you read Khushiyan manate hain wahi. And then what if that antara, that line stuck in the mehfil and people were really enjoying it and you didn't want to move on? How would you repeat that verse continuously in different ways to keep the audience engaged? Those are the kind of things that I picked up in mehfils. Speaking and liaising with scholars, because when you go to mehfils, they were mostly hosted back in the days by imams of the mosques who were scholars, and speaking to them, sitting on the stage, sharing a stage with big scholars and big Naat Khans. You need to be well versed. You need to know some etiquettes of sitting on the stage as well. So that's something that I picked up, over the years. And then generally about Naat Khani, having an understanding of what good poetry is and what commercial level poetry is, market level. So all that kind of stuff I've picked up over the years.
Alhamdulillah. No. We've seen you. A lot of people know Umar Bhai as well. You got your own YouTube channel as well.
Let me talk about Umar Bhai, right? there's Aisha. I'm live with your uncle Usman. Say hello. Okay. So Umar Bhai, right? I went to Spain once, and we went to a program with the West Reza Qadri. So it was me, Awais Bhai, and some of my friends from Manchester, Irfan, and others. Yeah, and we got picked up by this lad from the airport, and he was a big fan of Awais Bhai. He wasn't the organizer, and my friend Irfan kept calling me Umar and stuff, and he asked me what my name was, and I said my name's Umar, and he goes to me, "Are you Umar Bhai? Are you the Umar Bhai?" That's when I know that I was internationally renowned.
That's why I have to bring that point up. Yeah,
this is another honor for me, right? When I first met Sayyid Zabir Masood Shah Sahab, and this will always stick with me. They came with Abid Iqbal a very long time ago, the first time ever, and I met them and I said, "Shah Sahab, obviously, I'm involved with Naat Khans, etc." He asked me what my name was, and I said Umar, and he goes, "Where are you from?" I said Bradford. He goes, "Are you Umar Bhai from YouTube?" Wallah, I'm not lying. I've got a rosa, right?
Wow.
That was something that's something that will stay with me for the rest of my life, because person like Sayyid Zabir Shah Sahab remembered that. So yeah, the Umar Bhai from YouTube. I've got 37,000, nearly 38,000 subscribers.
You got that wrong as well. It's nearly 40,000, 39,000.
I'm out of touch.
I had to do my research about, just before I get you on. Even though I know you very, very well, mashallah. Acha, yeah, so Umar Bhai is a very popular name as well. Obviously, like on YouTube, anywhere. Even I've actually got a few videos on my channel from your mehfil as well, saying Umar Bhai's mehfil.
I think Umar Bhai this Umar Bhai on YouTube got to be known from, our house mehfil videos, because we were like the first ones. And I think, when we were doing house mehfils, there were other mehfils happening, but they weren't uploading on YouTube. And us being young at that time and being eager, and we knew a bit about technology at the time, we were uploading pretty much instantly and putting those videos up. And people used to, Ifraz Yassin, Shahzad brother. He says that, we used to wait for Umar Bhai's mehfil at home. We used to all the families to get together and used to watch it.
It's a bit like when people used to wait for the Manchester Victoria Park mehfil.
Or the the QTV programs. And somewhere at the bottom, my house mehfil was on that list as well for the people. So it's an honor.
That's brilliant. That is, I think we need to get more videos out now of Umar Bhai as well, because obviously everybody likes it. They got big demand. Inshallah. And I'm just going to talk about, obviously we know a bit about YQNC now as well, and we'll talk a bit more about yourself as well. Obviously, YQNC, like you said before, it was mentioned. It was founded in 2015. 2015 October was the first mehfil you did, yeah. And what was it known as initially?
Initially, right? We were struggling with the name, to be honest with you.
Where did the name come from as well?
So basically, let me. So this is like probably the third or fourth time. I'm getting better at this now as well. Third or fourth time I'm saying this on my live streams over, this Ramadan period. Me and Ismail and his dad were traveling to a mehfil, and I was scrolling through my phone on social media, and I was like, I came across like Naat Khans like Awais Iqbal and Ahmed Rubani sitting in the cars recording videos, and then Zishan Tariq and Sayyid Usman and Sufyan and Isa, and I thought. I was saying to Khalid, Ismail, there's a lot of talent in the UK, man. It's all going for waste. They're sitting in their cars and they're sitting at home in the living rooms and recording videos. They should have a platform. And, Khalid said to me that, look, you should definitely, Khalid Bhai goes that definitely you should do something for these kids.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's now's the time to utilize my 12 years worth of experience and contacts and, put it to use. So I held that program, and alhamdulillah, and guess what? Like, obviously I can mention it now as well. Like, I invited everyone, but I didn't invite you.
That's what I wanted to say as well. It was just a random call. I think I got a message or a call from you that you're doing an event. You said, "Oh, I totally forgot." Yeah,
I genuinely did forget because I knew that you recite Naats, and you used to come to our house and used to go to my cousin Jav's house and read Naats.
Yeah.
I knew you. It's just I genuinely forgot to even invite you. But maybe because at that time I was just relying on social media and just looking. You get what I mean? And you weren't very present on social media. You're still not. But so that's why I forgot you. But you like they say, you stole the show that day. Alhamdulillah, which is good. You gave me a lesson for next time.
No, it was an honor. It was an honor. Actually, should I tell you something? That mehfil, when you said, obviously when you told me about it, I'm not one of those people that if I've not been invited, I'm not going to go. You invited me to read. Even if you didn't invite me to read, I would have gone anyway. Yeah, but showed my support. But, you invited me to read. I was that close to not reading. I was like, no, I'm not going to read. I'm not going to. Because I seen all the talent. I thought, whoa, I don't want to read. Like, there's so much talent in front of me. I don't want to be like, wasting our idea, like they say. Obviously, it's not about the voice and the way you read everything. It's intentions that matter. But I think one thing that I will say on this live, obviously. People from Bradford knew me, not all of Bradford, but people from Bradford knew me. But I am what I am is because of Brother Umar's YQNC. No, that's credit due to you for that as well, for inviting me on the first show as well, first mehfil, sorry. And from there, Alhamdulillah, I've been invited all over the UK. I've been to a lot of mehfils, even outside the UK as well. So hats off to you for that one. I had to get that out there, but I'm not saying it because you're on the show. That's people that know me and will know this as well. Okay, I'll ask you a few more questions. What inspired you then? Obviously, you said you've seen all these young Naat fans and everything. There's obviously International Naat Association and there's Sunni Razvi Society. There's all sorts of these groups that are doing great work. So what inspired you to set up YQNC? Is it because like you said, the talent? Or is it something just to give them a platform?
It was more about the UK, the Naat Khans in the UK having a platform. It wasn't about, like for example, if I see you, Usman, reciting Naat, and I go and recite Naat, then I'm inspired by you. But at that time, I didn't want to come into competition with like any organizations or anything as such. I just wanted to provide the UK Naat Khans a platform. And I even, when the Ummah channel, do you remember when you had the Ummah channel program just a couple of days before I even said to Qari Javed Sahab, I said that Qari Sahab, take them under your wing. At that time, there was no YMC or no YQNC. There was no organization officially set up. I just said, Qari Sahab, take these lads under your wing. But Qari Sahab couldn't at that time because he was occupied big time with the Pakistani Naat Khans, and they were coming from Pakistan in big numbers. And he would always, wherever he could fit in, Ismail or Isa or even you or whoever he could fit in, he could, and he would ring me and say, "Oh, book this Naat Khan book." But I don't think it was his cup of tea kind of thing, because you guys were all young, and there was a language barrier and there was other issues. I don't think it was he could do it practically. So obviously then I had to do it, and then there comes YNC, and it was more about giving the kids a platform, not letting them waste their talent by just sitting in cars and living rooms and attic bedrooms and stuff like that. I think they wanted to, they had to come out and recite in mehfils.
It was called YNC. YNC.
Initially it was called YNC because it was just a Naat program and it was just for Naat Khans. But then
when YQNC come on, then you call it YQNC.
I think we called it YQNC when we held the first international Qiraat program at Hanfiya Mosque. And I think, to be honest with you, I don't make a note of these things, Usman. I sometimes, I don't make a note of these dates. Like you had to remind me that it was in 2015. I thought it was 2016, to be honest. But I think it was when we called Shahad. We wanted to do the Quran program, but we didn't want to call it YNC because it's not Youth Naat program. And initially we called it Youth Naat Conference. But conference, but then we wanted to change it.
Limited.
Limited.
Conference is like that.
Yeah. Then we changed it. We revamped it all when we did the Kirat program, the Shahad, when we called Mahmoud Shahad and Ayub Asif Hanfiya, and we called it Youth Quran Naat Council. And then that is obviously quite wide and it covers a lot of areas. Then we held two Kirat programs, international level ones. Again, that was to inspire others. That was to inspire, like you guys have been inspired by the likes of Awais Raza Qadri, Khalid Hasnain, Sayyid Zabib Shah, Shabazz Faridi, and so on, Qari Shahid, right? I wanted big Quras to come from other parts of the world and inspire our young people so that they could say, wow, man, that's big, that's amazing. I want to become a Qari Quran as well. And also to inspire event organizers to say, wait a minute, man, are we not paying too much attention towards Naat Khani? We should be giving attention to Quran as well. So that was the purpose of holding the two programs. Yeah.
So that is so YQNC came. Then it's been YQNC ever since, and inshallah it will still be like that as well. Inshallah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who helped you in obviously the setup and the growth? Obviously, you need a team for everything to be a success.
To be honest with you, I've not had many people involved in the youth. Initially, I did it all on my own. I had, like some of the programs and where credits due needs to be given. Like yourself, probably done some run around. I'm sure me and you've been out doing posters together, right? Wasim's done a lot of work for me. I used to use Ismail. Used to come out, used to do posters, putting up posters together. But the initial the YNC, the first YNC program, it was more or less I did it. But then I had Essen that helped me quite a lot in. He's probably watching this as well. In the Quran, the YQNC, I think he came in later on. But then he did a lot of social media for me, a bit of social media here and there. Then he did some. Then when we did the Youth Quran program, he did some artwork, poster designing here and there. So he eased some things for me, free of cost. Things that would have cost me, and things that I've had to beg people to do. He did a lot of foundation work for me as well. And other than that, later on when we turned into a more of an academic council, like YQNC turned into more academic thing. Then Sayyid Faiz Rasul Shah Sahab came in, but up until then, it was only really myself and Essen and
like few of our brothers, like the Naat brothers,
Bradford boys, yeah,
the Bradford boys, like they say.
Yeah.
Acha, mashallah.
And Mohammed Bhai as well. He is Mohammed Bhai as well because, he helped with some visas here and there, and you can't forget that, can you? Because without those visas, the programs wouldn't have happened. So, yeah. But then, I've got other people, like Papa Tahir from Nottingham, who held that Nottingham program. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So he's there as well, and then YQNC, as well as these people, we've got to give a lot of credit to Awais Raza Qadri as well.
Yeah. He's been a big part of it as well. He's given a lot of advice. He's given us a lot of, he's done actually workshops with us as well, one-to-one.
Yeah, the first workshop that we had at the house. He didn't have to do it, bro. I'm getting some feedback. I don't know why.
Yeah. I've got another person online. If you could just mute your mic, please, and then we'll introduce you coming on. Yeah, that's all right now.
So, what was I saying? Yeah, Awais Raza Qadri, he's given a lot of time to us. Personally, over the years, I've known him since he's not the first year, but I think the second tour when he came to the UK, I've known him since then.
Yeah.
But, for a big Naat Khan of his caliber, to give those tutorials in his own time and to give some really genuine practical advice, can't forget that, man. Can't forget that.
No. Obviously, Awais Raza Qadri, I remember I've been part of Alhamdulillah, I've been part of it. I've always been part of the YQNC. I will be as well, inshallah, in the future. Anytime you need my help or support, I'm there, inshallah. Okay, you're going for a little walk, it looks like. Okay, I've got I've got your obviously Mohammad Umar by talking about YQNC as well. Also in this show, we've had Anis Rahman joined in before. It's just to show you guys, the talent that the few talents that that I'm going to have on the show, that they just there's like 2-3 of them of many talents that YQNC has in total, mashallah. So we've had
Usman, can I just ask a quick question? If I was to scroll off and go into like WhatsApp, will my Skype go off?
I think so.
Okay, I'll stay on. I just wanted to share the link, that's all.
Just try it. Anyway, just try it. I'll give you a minute.
Okay, let's have a look then.
As long as you don't cut the call off, it's alright.
Can you see me?
No, I can't see you, but it's on still.
Okay, that's fine. No worries. You can get whoever's waiting.
Okay then. We've got another talent, mashallah. This talent is actually I've invited his brother in one of the episodes before, Sufyan Ziyarat. Mashallah, he's a student of the YQNC Naat classes as well, and he's Sufyan Ziyarat's brother. Like I said, a very, very, very good talent, mashallah. I'm just going to get him on to recite a few naats, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, Fizan.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah,
how
are you? You okay, yeah?
Alhamdulillah, okay.
I'm fine as well, alhamdulillah. I had your brother on the show a couple of shows back, and whilst he was on the show, I also said to him that I totally forgot to mention Fizan to come on as well. But alhamdulillah, we've got you on the show as well, Jazakallah for joining us as well. And
thank you for inviting me.
Anytime. We're always there to show support to the young blood that's coming up, inshallah. How's the Ramadan going for you so far?
Alhamdulillah, it's going all good.
Are you practicing your vocals in the Ramadan as well? Or is it a bit hard of drinking? You have a dry throat, Acha, mashallah. So you're part of the youth YQNC Naat class as well. Tell us a bit about that, what you've learned and your experience so far.
Yeah, so I started the class about a year ago. It's been about a year, and we've been learning different naats, classical, so we started a year ago, and we've done about 10 to 15 different naats, and Omer, Ismail, and Isa, they've been teaching. We've had about 20 students come in.
Mashallah. This free of charge as well.
Yeah, free of charge.
Giving time nowadays.
He gets a free lift home as well.
Chalo, that's
the main thing is they've given us confidence. They've helped us.
Yeah, that's the reward you're gonna get, Umar. By obviously you're giving him a lift and you're doing it for free of charge. The reward you will get is obviously for them reciting the naats. So wherever they go, you'll always get reward for it, and inshallah. And you were saying, so what's if there's one thing you say you learned the most, what would it be?
Confidence, adab, the way how we should be in mahfils, and
Ba'adab ba naseeb, be'adab bad naseeb. That's what they say, innit, Umar bhai?
Yeah, that's right.
Adab is very key. Adab, we have to have adab at all times, whether it's reciting the Naat Sharif or doing the Tilawat Quran Majid as well, or anything, adab in general. I think that's important in our daily lives as well, mashallah. Fizan, if you could give us a Naat Sharif, 2 shares of any Naat that you like.
Something that you learned from the class.
Something that you learned from the class.
Classical one.
Sallallahu alayka ya وسلم عليك يا حبيب الله فکرے دل ربا بن کے آیا عرض و سما بن کے آیا پیکرے دل ربا بن کے آیا عرض و سما بن کے آیا سب رسول خدا بن کے آئے وہ حبیب خدا بن کے آیا
واہ واہ
حضرت آمینہ کا دلارا وہ حلیمہ کی آنکھوں کا تارا حضرت آمینہ کا دلارا وہ حلیمہ کی آنکھوں کا تارا وہ شکستہ دلوں کا سہارا وہ شکستہ دلوں کا سہارا بے قصوں کی دعا بن کے آیا بے قصوں کی دعا بن کے آیا تاجداروں نے دی ہے سلامی بادشاہوں نے کی ہے غلامی تاجداروں نے دی ہے سلامی بادشاہوں نے کی ہے غلامی بے مثال اس کا اس میں گرامی مصطفیٰ مجتبی بن کے آیا مصطفیٰ مجتبی بن کے آیا پیکرِ دل ربا بن کے آیا سما بن کے آیا سب رسول خدا بن کے آئے وہ حبیب خدا بن کے آیا وہ حبیب خدا بن کے آیا
Wow, wow, wow. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. That was absolutely beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful, Fizan Saab. We had actually Tashid Ali message when Sufyan Ziyarat was on the show. He reminded me about you and I said, oh yeah, I totally forgot. He said, you need to bring him on. And then I was speaking to Umar Bhai. I said, we're going to do a YQNC special. Definitely call Fizan Ziyarat because MashaAllah, the talent he's got is MashaAllah. I can't even describe it in words. That's how it is, MashaAllah. That was so beautiful. Umar Bhai, I've seen whilst you were reciting the Naat, MashaAllah, is the control, the pitch control as well was absolutely perfect. The rag, the way he's reciting was absolutely beautiful. So, what sort of style do you try to teach these Naat ones? Is it like classical or is it like with the tempo? Or what is it like?
We teach traditional out of beat kalams, classical traditional kalams that are not set out, laid out on a rhythm, a tempo. However, when we teach classical kalams, we teach them with certain vocal training, certain vocal practices where they like embed a steadiness in their vocal cord. right?
Yeah, yeah.
What happens is when they're reading, they have this thing called terao. Do you remember when Shah Sahib used to give us classes and we used to go,
Yeah, I remember.
and that used to, in effect, at the end mean something. Why we're doing that?
Yeah,
And we focused on that a lot. And by training the kids on traditional classical kalams, now look at Faizan, he's read Pekare Dir Rubaban Kiya in a traditional manner. And what's happening with that is that will now help him read fast kalams as well that have tempo. So if you were to ask him to read Sabse Aula wa Ala,
yeah.
Chamak Tujhse Paate Hain Sab Paane Wale, he'll also be able to read that very well as well and in tune.
That's really good.
Yeah. So we teach him the proper way. You know, like when you drive, like you learn theory, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's what we teach. We teach the theory and then we teach him how to drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't teach him. We don't just fast track and get him straight onto Sabse Ola. Do you get what I mean? We teach him
You
how
go
to.
through the main
Yes.
base. You tell them in detail everything. So you know when you're on the road, like they say, like when you're on the mehfil, you can do anything there.
Yes.
You
Then
can
you know
you can mix
better.
anything. MashaAllah. Fizan Ziyarat, Jazakallah. Just before you go, I'm gonna ask you 1-2 questions. There. How old are you?
I'm 15.
Masha, when did you start reciting Naats?
Around about 6, 7 years old.
When did you join YQNC?
About about 2 years ago.
About 2-3 years ago, yeah. And
about
then
2
He's
years ago.
always been with those. He's always been with those. What's happened is, when he was a little kid, he used to have a really high pitched voice.
Yeah.
And he sent me a video of him, Sufyan did, of Mujhpe Bhi Chashme Karam, and it was a carbon copy, a bang on copy of a Westbai's Kalam, the way he used to read it. So I forwarded it to Westbai, and he really enjoyed him as well. He said, "Wow, what a talent!" He's not been with YQNC for 2.5 years. He must be thinking something else. Do you know when we held the Nottingham program?
Yeah. That was
He was reading in that
2016.
16. He was an Attari in that mehfil.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to remember.
You were, weren't you, Fazan?
Yeah. I was.
So it's been about 4 or 5 years. Obviously, when his brother came, so it's more or less similar time in it. Since his brother's been YQNC from day one as well.
He's
MashaAllah.
a senior student. He's a senior student of our class now. So sometimes we give him some students to look after as well. So he's he's good. He's picking up things a lot.
That's why I wanted to get, obviously on the show, I wanted to get a show Anis Rahman, who's one of the up and coming youth Naat ones, who's actually growing, is a bit older than the rest of the lads, and then obviously show one of the many talents that you've got in the Naat classes as well. And then we've got another special guest coming on later on. That'll be inshallah. I don't want to take too much of your time as well, Fazan Ziyarat. Jazakallah for joining us, and inshallah hope to see you very soon, inshallah. And Eid Mubarak. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Acha, mashallah, that was brilliant, Umar bhai. Just a few more questions. Actually, just before I ask you a few more questions, go through some of the live comments so far. Yeah.
I can't see anything. I can't see any comments.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, mashallah. Salam. A lot of people giving you salam. Taseen Ali giving you salam. He's saying, mashallah. Walaikum assalam. Hamza Muhammad is actually your younger brother, Chief. He's messaging saying, "Usi, we've got a cricket cricket game going on. Come down." I'm very disappointed with Chief. I thought he'd be watching the show, or I thought he might be on the show.
He was watching, but he was playing cricket on the other side of the camera.
All right.
So he's now gone inside. That's why I've had to change locations.
Allah, acha. Now on this. I thought he's gone out to play somewhere. Mashallah. A lot of people giving you salam. Umar bhai is saying mashallah as well. We've got Shamas Khan, mashallah, who joined in as well. He's saying mashallah. Mashallah. It's nice to see, other
Shamas from Luton.
Shamas from Luton, yeah.
Mashallah.
Fizan Irfani has joined the show as well. He's saying salam to Lord
Allah.
Peace Fizan sahab. Very shakhsiyat.
Peer Fizan.
Peer Fizan sahab, mashallah. He said, blessed to see amazing personality, Lord Omer sahab, today on your show.
Fizan's a good guy, man. Sara prana sathi hai.
He's Bradford's old He's like he's younger than us, but he's like our senior.
Is a household name.
His household name, yeah, no doubt. He's also a lot of people saying, "Oh, Masha Chishti Malang." Fizan Irfani has also said, "First mehfil I attended at Umar Saab house. Can't remember, and your duas, Umar Saab."
Wow, Fizan Saab.
But yeah, he's. I remember when I used to go to your house, mehfil, Fizan Saab used to be there. I remember he was the young lad then. Haroon Shakil from Telford has joined as well, saying Salamat Rayo.
Walaikum salam.
My little brother, as mentioned, he's giving you salam as well.
Walaikum salam.
You two are both ethical and Usman, all this crazy about that. All he goes on about is that.
We're Sufis.
MashaAllah. Baker saying Uthoy. Jazakallah. Tahir Emi saying is Umar by Ismail Hussein's dad? No, he's his mentor as well. MashaAllah. Ismail's father. Khalid Bhai is a very beautiful person as well. Then we've got Taseen Ali saying 4th of June 2016 was the Youth Quran Conference. Wow, he remembered the exact date as well. He's saying Salam. He's also saying I've got a comment here, Usman Attari, your Peer Immediate Listener's birthday today, so read the kalam for him. Inshallah, if I get a chance, inshallah, I will do. We've got a farmaish for you as well, brother Omer. Parvez Akhtar is saying, somebody called Parvez Akhtar is saying, Usman bhai, can you get brother Omer to read Bilal Pir? Omer bhai, we're going to keep you at the end, like they say, VIP Naat at the end, yeah? Please, yeah, so a lot of support. People are showing a lot of support towards the YQNC as well. And if somebody's asking as well, how can I join YQNC? Because I like to read notes as well. Well, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you as well.
The thing is, we've changed the admission process. Yeah, because we're now more academic based. So we do classes. We don't. You will have noticed that we don't do many events now. No programs. Although I'm looking at planning one, but we don't do many programs, and we wanna focus on more training Naat Khans to be proper good Naat Khans rather than just having a voice and not carrying any of the good etiquettes, not carrying any adab or any experience. So if they want to become a Naat Khan, they can contact me on my page or Instagram.
Yeah.
And then if depending on what stage they are, they might already. Sometimes it depends on the upbringing at home. If they already come with a lot of all this, then we don't need to train them much. But if they need the training, then we'll have to give them the training before we put them forward.
Sure. That's a brilliant way of doing it as well. I think, because I don't want to mention no names. I don't want to be controversial as well. But, there are a lot of groups that are coming out now that are just bringing anyone forward that, like some people, they might have the nice voice, but they won't know how to read. They will have some sort of they're not fully ready, if you know what I mean. So I think
they're nowhere near ready.
So I think
just having a voice is only 5%. Only 5% of you becoming a good Naat Khan, and people are selling themselves on just that 5%. But we
the process that you started, that's mashallah, that's a good process. Obviously,
we're not
training them up.
Anyone. Yeah. We've had people come and leave us and, go to other places for other interests and not bothered at all. One day it'll come and I'll just close YQNC down and that's me done. It's just, I'm not dependent on anyone.
Yeah. So I've got a few questions written down myself. I want to get them across as well before I don't want to drag the show for too long as well. We're already going to an hour. Okay, so where was YQNC's first international tour?
You should have known, Usman.
You can't remember.
I should have.
I should have told you.
You should have told me what questions you're going to ask, and I could have gone back on my Facebook to see what happened in what time.
Okay, I'll check. Do you mean to tell?
Yeah, go on, please.
2016, it was the Holland.
Is that when you went?
Yeah.
When everyone
went. Ehsan, Ismail, Sarkarji, all these people. I think that was 2016, I believe. Yeah, 2016 November. Yeah, that was November 2016.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember it was really cold at that time. Acha, so how many tours have you done so far with YQNC? Or even the individual Naat ones that are part of YQNC?
Look, I've been abroad quite a bit, to be honest with you, with the through Naat Khani. Like, so for example, back in the days, I went to Norway with Nasser Kareem. This was like 2007, 8. They invited Nasser, and I went with Nasser. Then after that, I've been to Spain with the West Bike, but that's obviously not part of YQNC, as such.
Yeah.
But then with Ismail, I've done a lot of tours with Ismail. I've been to Portugal. I've been to Norway. I've been to where else have I been? I've been to Kuwait. I've been to Mauritius. I've been to Pakistan.
These are through obviously the YQNC and your Naat Fund and your platform as well.
This is basically with Ismail. Ismail being part. If I'm just trying to link the question, your question with Ismail, because majority of my.
I think you did most of them with that.
Yeah, with just being with Ismail. Yeah, those were the countries. I'm sure I've been somewhere else in Europe with Ismail as well, but it's just not coming to me at the moment.
Mashallah, you've done quite a lot of tours as well. You've also been to Dubai as well, done the Project 5. We talked about that with Ismail Hussain. We had him on the show, I think, a couple of weeks back. He talked about, how he's giving you praise as well. Yeah, praise. Dubai is the place. Yeah, that's my favorite place as well. He was talking about how much of a big part you are of his Naat career as well, and how the Project 5, the compositions, how you did it and everything. I also said that you are the master of composition, which I got to say. You might not read Naat yourself, but mashallah, you get some beautiful compositions together, mashallah. Okay, I'm going to quickly run through the questions. So you've done quite a lot of tours and obviously events in total. How much have we done in the UK?
So I've done the YQNC program. YNC program at Al Hikam. That was the first one. Then I did the Sheikh Mahmood Shahad Quran conference in Hanfiya Mosque. That was the second one. I did the Nottingham program. I think that was before that, but the Nottingham program, that's 3. I've done the Hajjaj Hindawi program, 4. I've done 2. I've been part of 2 Qiraat programs with Al Hikam Institute. That's 6. Like a lot of programs, where I've not directly been involved, but like for example, there were some programs with the Sunni Rizvi Society, Mohammed Bhai, in Europe and stuff. Although he's arranged everything, my logo just gets tagged on because I've given the Naat Khans, but I've not had that input, if you get what I mean. I've not done the hard and graft work for it, but but those, I wouldn't say it's fair to put those programs under that list as well, but about 5 or 6 programs, I would say. But yeah, I've helped other people.
Yeah, you've worked alongside this society quite a bit as well with the tours as well. I think I went on the tour.
Go on.
Yeah, I went on tour to Portugal as well. I think that was through you guys and Sunni Rizvi Society as well. Mashallah, it's good to obviously merge together. I think when you merge together, you can work more. You could, you could do expand your work more as well, and have a better impact as well.
Definitely.
And so that's quite a lot of events. So when the last event you've done has been quite a long time over by. A lot of people ask me as well, and they must ask you as well. When is when are you planning on doing your next event?
Well,
Not event or Quran event.
I'm not gonna let you steal the thunder. I'm not gonna give you anything on here on when my next event is. But I've stopped doing events because
you should be using special information.
I don't think I was achieving anything from Mefels anymore. We set the bar, we introduced the Naat Khans, and it was just nothing was coming out of those programs. If anything,
before I forget. I don't know. I've got bad memory. I forget things very quick. I had brother Ahmed Rabani on yesterday.
Yeah.
He also mentioned give you a big shout out saying that, and I also, we were discussing about, the situation of Naat Khwani in the UK with the youth. He gave you a lot of credit. I
Thank
want
you
to
very
personally
much.
give you
That's very
credit.
nice and generous of him.
I want to personally give you credit as well. I think Youth Naat Khwani has been around only because of YQNC started it off.
Alhamdulillah, I can, if that credit goes to me, then it's with the du'as of my parents, and with the support, and with the Nazr Karam of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Other than that, nothing would have been possible.
Yeah. Oh, no, most definitely that's true as well. So I want to say Jazakallah on my behalf as well, for wherever I am as well. Alhamdulillah to YQNC as well. So where's that question gone? I forgot where the question was. Okay, you've done the Quran events and that. How difficult was it? Obviously, because with the Naat events you did, they were the Naat from the UK. You just one call away. Look, I want to do an event. It's easy. How did you get in contact with the Qaris from Egypt that came as well? What was the situation? What was the procedure?
So Sheikh Ayub Asif is a good friend of mine. I've introduced him in a lot of Quran programs in our Sunni events, Sunni Mawlid programs, and he's a good friend, genuine guy. I like him. He's exceptionally talented, and his dad is also a very good friend of mine. Both father and son are good friends. And they mentioned it to me that Sheikh Mahmood Shahat is here in the UK already touring. If you want to hold a Qiraat program, and before that, I was already considering that. I wanted to do something for the youth in relation to Quran. Like the way us guys are inspired by West as Qadri and stuff like that. Big Naat fans of Pakistan, Sayyid Zabib, Khalid. I mentioned these names before. I wanted people to look up to these Qur'an. So, that's how I got in touch. I got in touch with Sheikh Shahad through Ayub Asif. Then I've got a friend in Egypt. I've got a friend in Egypt who put me through and who did all the arrangement for Hajjaj Hindawi when he came. And that's how he came over. And thanks to Muhammad Bhai for sorting the visa out, for his visa, and he came over. And very nice, humble guy.
Absolutely beautiful the way they recite the Quran Majid is heart touching. It's like it gets you into a different vibe. You can't explain the words. Okay, Umar bhai, I think we should call our third and final guest as well. Get him on the line as well. Just before we try to connect him, I'll ask you one, two more questions, inshallah. YQNC, obviously you said, we started off by, Naat ones, reading in the cars and, in the attics of the room, wherever they were reading, like uploading YouTube. Obviously, they never had that platform, which now thanks to YQNC, around the UK, even outside the UK, they've got a platform now. A lot of Naat are coming in and they can come and recite. Even in big mehfils, there used to be so many big mehfils where Naat couldn't recite because youth Naat because they didn't have a platform. They didn't have, there was nothing there. So obviously now, alhamdulillah, I've been to big events, big mehfils. I've had the honor of reciting there as well. So obviously the process changed over time. You said now you do with the classes, you're more academic. You like to teach them the adab of Naat Khwani, how to recite Naat Khwani, even teach them how to understand, what they're reciting as well, which is very important because obviously when you understand it, if you understand what you're reciting, you give a different feel to the Naat that you're reciting. Like you feel it more as well. So obviously things have changed. Where would you like to see YQNC in the next 5-10 years? What's your goals and ambitions? Obviously, your goals and ambitions, you must have achieved most of them.
At the moment, I've put things on hold for a bit because I'm not seeing Naat Khwani in the future as a positive thing because I think it's going to be quite heavily criticized. Naat Khans, people are going to come on the scene and they're going to change the image of Naat Khani. So going forward, it's not going to be good in respect of Naat Khani.
If I could tell the brother to mute the mic just for a minute. Just mute it so it's in. Yeah, that's all right now.
Yeah, so I don't think. At the moment, we don't know where we're going to stand in the coming years with Naat Khani. I would personally like to see YQNC expand. I'm trying to make it expand because we're going to be holding YQNC Naat classes in Birmingham with proper ustads, proper teachers. Not kids, but proper teachers who know Naat Khani, who understand Naat Khani. And I'm trying to work with Harun Iqbal on that one. So my plan is to expand.
If you could put your camera a bit, if you could go in the middle, because it's it's all right now. Yeah. Sorry.
But we were supposed to do our first class, but then lockdown kicked in, and then it all got stopped. So hopefully, inshallah, once the lockdown's over, we'll introduce those classes in Birmingham. The plan is to expand, but it all depends. Look, Naat Khani is not necessity. Yeah. It's not. Like fard, right? So if something more important comes in, like Quran or providing a platform for scholars or working with scholars or working on a more important project, then YQNC might have to be put on hold for a bit. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I like training kids, and I like singing. Vocally singing. You know me, don't you?
We've been traveling. Whenever we're traveling, you'll be singing.
So it's
we're gonna get an hour of you, inshallah.
It's something special to me. It's something special to me. But if something more important comes in, then I might just put it on hold. But I'd like to see it expand. I like to create proper Naat Khans in the UK.
MashaAllah. No, that's brilliant. Umar, inshallah, you will get what you want to achieve as well, inshallah.
And a proper Naat Khan now joins us.
Yeah. We're gonna call him on just before that. Umar bhai, like the Naat Khan that we had, Anis Rahman is a young kid, he's only 17, mashallah, he's doing hifaz. Like he's become a hafiz as well. And then we've got Ismail and Qari Isa. Yeah. So we've got Ismail and Qari Isa who are doing the Darshan Nizami. People need to know this as well, that these Naat Khans are not only just Naat Khans that go to Mehfil Parita Acho Lafafa ki nide bas. It's about learning the deen as well, which is important. I think deen is more important than Naat Khani. Naat Khani, if you do it, you get swab. If you don't do it, you don't get gana. But with deen, obviously,
you need to know your deen, you need to know your maslak, you need to know your aqidah, and your fiqh masail and stuff. And not only that, if you can't become, like for example, Ismail and Isa go to Mufti Wajid Sahab. If you can't study Darse Nizami or you can't study like a proper course, you need to be in contact with a scholar. You need to have a scholar who is a phone call away to you, so he could guide you. If you've got a naat, a kalam, like for example, if someone sends me a kalam and I can probably tell them that, look, it's written well, and you're happy to, you're okay to go ahead with it. But some Naat Khans don't have that access. So my advice to them is they need to have access to a scholar.
Yeah, that's very important as well. Okay, Umar bhai, we'll give you a little rest at the moment, and we've got a very, very special guest with us right now. If you could put your camera a bit down. This guest is, mashallah, is a nephew of Hafiz Akil Tariq, who's another Naat Khan of YQNC as well, mashallah, who's a very talented Naat Khan. And this Naat Khan that I've got today is a full Naat Khan. He's ready. He's ready for the stages, everything. Like, the other Naat Khan that we had, they're like doing the hifas and then, one doing the classes. This Naat Khan, mashallah, is ready. He's already gets called to a lot of mehfils. He's been on tours as well. It's not other than Talha, Mashhoor Maroof Naat Khan. Bahut umda padhne wale Naat Khan is Talha Tariq. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Talha, how are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, all good. How are you, brothers, doing?
Alhamdulillah, we're doing well. We got Brother Omer as well. He's mashallah doing well as well, enjoying himself today on the live in the beautiful weather we've got today as well. Yeah. How's the Ramadan going for you so far then, Talha?
Ramadan's going good, alhamdulillah. Only a few days left now. We've done what we could do, inshallah. Make the most of the last few days, inshallah.
MashaAllah, good message you give there. Have you been practicing in Ramadan as well?
Yes, I have. I've had a lot of lives, alhamdulillah, throughout the month. Just every week I've had a good 3-4 lives, so being kept busy.
There's no lockdown. Everybody's doing live, mashallah, which is good thing. Obviously, we can't stop the Naat Khwani, we can't stop the, tilawat, we can't stop the speeches, altogether just because of lockdown. So whoever's got a platform like YouTube, they're using it, in the good cause, mashallah. Talha, if you could tilt your camera and station on as well. Yeah, full screen, because when you're going to recite, you can have you on full screen. Yeah, that's perfect. Talha, so do you find it hard practicing in Ramadan?
To be honest,
you can't have anything, dry mouth, dry throat.
To be honest, my throat does get dry at times, but you have to practice a lot. But then again, you can't practice too much to the point where they say gala bete hai. You know what I mean? So there's a limit to how much you practice.
Acha. Umar bhai, if you like to say a few words to
Talha. I differ on that one. I think, when you practice within your scale, right, you can sing all night and your gala shouldn't be affected. You might lose energy because obviously when you do something, when you physically engage in something, you lose energy. But if you practice in your own scale, then your gala shouldn't be affected. If you're going out of your scale and you're going out of your comfort zone, then your gala will become affected. Then you will start straining your vocal cords. But if you practice within your scale, it shouldn't affect it. And I don't think a person like Talha should worry about that because his vocal cords are pretty much polished up and ready to go. He just needs to practice on getting fluency. And some Naat Khans need to practice on composing their voice. But Talha's composed.
Yeah.
Talha just needs to practice fluency. Talha needs to practice, wait on a minute, I can do this extra jaga here. I can do, adding more icing on the cake. That's what he needs to practice on. And that shouldn't affect his gala. But
No,
I know what he's saying. I know what you mean.
I understand
I know
what
what he's trying to get at.
So obviously, like you said, he's ready. He's ready. He's ready for international tours. He's ready for UK tours. MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm not just saying this. You'll hear him in a few minutes, inshallah, as well. Talha, how old are you?
I'm 17 now.
MashaAllah. What age were you when you started reciting out?
I was about 11 or 12 years old when I first started reciting in public. But everyone recites Naats all their life. But the first time I actually came in public was around 11, 12 years old.
Acha, mashallah. And who's inspired you? Who's your favorite Naat Khan? Who inspired you to become a Naat Khan?
I think that's me. All right, Talha, I'm not that bad,
Of course, internationally, I like to listen to, Naat Khan like Sayyid V. Masood and Khalid Isnan Khalid. But then again, what really inspired me was, as you all know, that my family, they all read Naats, alhamdulillah. So, growing up listening to them also, kind of encouraged me to start myself.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So you've got quite some years experience under your belt as well, MashaAllah, reciting Naat. And we're going to get you to recite now without any delay because we're running out of time. Inshallah. Whatever. But I actually want to do a farmaish. Haider Maula. And somebody's actually done farmaish for that as well. Tehseen Ali as well.
Haider Maula. So do you want me to read that now, inshallah?
Just read one share of a Naat and then read one share of Haider Maula as well.
Sallallahu alayka ya Rasulallah wa sallam alayka ya Habiballah. Wah kya judo karam hai shahe batha तेरा कोई दुनिया عطا میں نہیں ہم تھا تیرا، جو حاتم کو میسر یہ نظارہ تیرا، اور کہہ اٹھے دیکھ کے بخشش میں یہ رتبہ تیرا، کیونکہ واہ کیا جود و کرم ہے، واہ کیا جود و کرم ہے، شہبت تیرا نہیں سنتا، نہیں سنتا ہی نہیں مانگنے والا تیرا، کچھ بشر ہونے کے ناطے تجھے خود سا جانے، اور کچھ محض پیامی ہی خدا کا جانے، ارے ان کی اوقات ہی کیا ہے، ان کی اوقات ہی کیا ہے کہ یہ اتنا جانے، فرش والے آقا فرش والے، تیری شوکت کا علوم کیا جانے، حسروا عرش پہ اڑتا ہے پھڑیرا تیرا، تجھ سے ہر چند وہ ہے قدر و فضائل میں رفیع، کر نصیراج مگر فکر رضا کی توسیع، اور پاس ہے اس کے شفاعت کا وسیلہ، بیوہ کی تیری سرکار آقا تیری سرکار میں لاتا، تیری سرکار میں لاتا ہے رضا اس کو شفیع، جو میرا غوث ہے اور لاڈلا بیٹا تیرا، واہ کیا جود و کرم.
Wow, 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 wow. Subhanallah, that was beautiful, Talha. Just read the one share of Ali Maula, inshallah.
علی کے پسینے سے پھول بنتے ہیں، ان کے نقش قدم پر اصول بنتے ہیں، ان کے بچوں کی فضیلت نہ پوچھ بھائی، جن کی سواری خود رسول بنتے ہیں، آؤ مشکل کشا کی شان سنو، علی ہے بولتا قرآن سنو، حیدر مولا مولا علی مولا، حیدر مولا علی مولا، اللہ کے گھر میں علی کی آمد ہے، خدا کے گھر میں شہادت ہے، علی کا نعرہ دلوں کی طاقت ہے، علی کا ذکر عبادت ہے، علی کا ذکر عبادت ہے، میری ملت کے نوجوان سنو، علی ہے بولتا قرآن سنو، حیدر مولا علی مولا، حیدر مولا علی مولا، آؤ مشکل کشا کی شان سنو، علی ہے بولتا قرآن سنو، حیدر مولا علی مولا، حیدر مولا علی مولا، علی مولا.
Wow, 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 mashallah. That was beautiful, Talha Tariq. Thank you for joining us as well. It's been a pleasure. And you've definitely shown your talent to the viewers show talent. Obviously, this is YQNC, mashallah, one of the many talents you are. Also, Umar bhai, we've got a farmaish for you as well. We're just going to call you off. Talha Tariq, Jazakallah for joining us. And
Thank you for inviting me on.
see you soon, inshallah. No
Inshallah,
problem. Jazakallah, yeah. Umar bhai, so آ گیا ویلا تو سنا نات پڑھنا فرمائش ہے تو بلا لو پھر اور whichever
بلا لو پھر just read the words out so بلا لو پھر مجھے اے شاہ بحر و بر
مدینے میں پھر روتا ہوا ہوں
نہ دولت دے نہ شہرت دے مجھے بس یہ سعادت دے
تیرے قدموں میں مر جاؤں میں رو رو کر مدینے میں
بلا لو پھر مجھے اے شاہ بحر و بر مدینے میں بلا لو پھر مجھے اے شاہ بحر و بر مدینے میں بلا لو پھر مجھے اے شاہ بحر و بر مدینے میں پھر روتا ہوا آؤں تیرے در پر مدینے میں نہ دولت دے نہ شہرت دے مجھے بس یہ سعادت دے نہ دولت دے نہ شہرت دے مجھے بس یہ سعادت دے تیرے قدموں میں مر جاؤں میں رو رو کر مدینے میں
واہ 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 کیا بات ہے ماشاءاللہ Umar bhai, I don't know why you don't go into that funny. You got a beautiful voice as well.
If I do I might take over.
Mashallah,
that's by the way, that's just banter between me
you've got a
and
good banter
you.
between us. Yeah.
Naat Khani has got nothing to do with taking over. Naat Khani is a spiritual connection, and it's got nothing to do with it. It's just banter between me and you.
Yeah. Obviously, also Farmaish from your brother as well, brother Chief. So you could give him a bit of slap later on if you want. Yeah.
I'll sort him out. I need to go sort him out now.
Yeah, Jazakallah. Again, I think I've covered most of the questions. Obviously, YQNC has been a big part of me. It's also been a big part of many Naatans that you see on social media today. The big Naatans, like we've had the Ahmed Rabbani, Prince Nasib, Awais Iqbal, Ismail Hussain, Hamza Khan, Shams Khan, all these lads, everyone, mashallah, has gone through YQNC platform as well, mashallah. And most of the Naatans are also still show the respect and love and support towards YQNC as well. I will always be part of YQNC. I've always been part of YQNC as well, inshallah. And inshallah, in the near future as well, whichever, whether you do events or wherever it is, inshallah, I will give my support as well. Umar bhai, Jazakallah again for giving your precious time. And inshallah, hope to see you very, 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 very soon, inshallah. I'm just going to recite before I go.
No. I think no. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to come on your.
I had to get you on
your show. And so no. Bismillah, recite whatever you've got planned.
Like I said, thank you as well. I had to get you on as well. Like I said, mentioned before, why as well. Jazakallah Umar bhai, and Jazakallah for everybody that's tuned in and commented on the live chat as well. And if you could subscribe, inshallah. And tomorrow we've got next 3 days, the last 3 days of Ramadan, we've got a show every day, mashallah. So do tune in at 6 p.m. inshallah. Jazakallah again, Umar bhai. I'm just going to start one share of Salat Salam and then we'll finish automatically from there, inshallah. Oh, Ya Nabi, salam alayka. Ya Rasul, salam alayka. Ya Habib, salam alayka. Salavatullah alayka. Mujhe dar pe phir bulana. Madani Madine wale. Maye ishq bhi pilana. Madani Madine wale. Tala البدر علينا من ثنية الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داعي يا نبي سلام عليك يا رسول سلام عليك يا حبيب سلام عليك صلوات الله عليك يا نبي سلام عليك يا حبيب سلام عليك يا رسول سلام عليك صلوات الله عليك.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم